I want to talk about is Imam Ash-Shafi'i, which we all know. So who's Imam Ash-Shafi'i? Right? Imam Ash-Shafi'i, we all know, is the faqih. Everybody knows that. So he is the scholar of fiqh, that he was a student of Imam Malik, but he made his own fiqh, which is a good amount or a good number of the Muslim countries follows Imam Ash-Shafi'i. Part of Egypt, you have Bilad al-Sham, Syria, Jordan, some of Iraq, some even in the Gulf, some even in the East. So Imam Ash-Shafi'i, right. His mother, described as the following. She was originally an Arab, but she's not from the people of Quraysh. She was taqiyya. She was Allah-fearing, Allah-conscious. وَفَقِيهًا. She was also knowledgeable and very smart and intelligent. And she knows the value of knowledge. This is very important. I will not study. I will not teach well. I will not push my children to study something. I'm not talking about religion, unless I know the value of this. So you want your child to become, let's say, IT person because you know the value of IT in this time, or you want your child, as many parents, to become a physician or become a lawyer because you know the value of it. She knew the value of knowledge. So that's the first thing mothers, and I will say fathers in general, Muslim parents, you really need to know the value of knowledge of this deen, what impact it has on the house, on the children, on your offsprings and their children, and the value of this knowledge in the sight of Allah, and the value of this knowledge at the Day of Judgment. So the mother of Imam Ash-Shafi'i knew, كانت تعرف للعلم قدره. She knows the value of it. She pushed her child to learn. She pushed the child to learn, and all these children had obstacles. So we talked about it. Sayyidina Anas, she was a single mother. He was her only child. She pushed him to the house of Rasul to learn. And Imam Ash-Shafi'i was not only a faqih, he was not only the founder of the fiqh, the Shafi'i fiqh, or the school of thought of the Shafi'i. He was the first one who he founded the discipline of usul al-fiqh, the principles of fiqh, not fiqh, but the principles of it. And he was also, Imam Ash-Shafi'i, he was a scholar of commentary of the Quran, and he was a scholar of hadith, and he was a poet. And he was a very famous poet, and he was an excellent archer. And he was a traveler, well-educated traveler. Imam Ahmad, which is another scholar, his mother also involved in his in the result of what we see. He said about Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad, he said, كان الإمام الشافعي كالشمس للدنيا. Imam Shafi'i was like the sun to this world, and كالعافية للناس, like health for people, essential. That's what it is. Why do I need the sun? I can't live. No sun, we can't live. How do we feel when there is no sun? And al-afiyah lin-nas, like health to a human being. If I am sick or you are sick, how do we feel? If we are not healthy, how do we feel? Essential. So he said, Imam Ash-Shafi'i to the people was an essential. And he said, if it was not for Imam Ash-Shafi'i, we didn't know what's the hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Now, he was an orphan, Imam Ash-Shafi'i. His father died and he was 2 years of age. 2 years of age. And he was an orphan. His mother took care of him. Now, she took him to Mecca. Why? Why? 2 reasons. His father originally was from Mecca, so they will have someone, some family close by, and he has little bit of inheritance that they can live on, but it was very little. But the main reason that, because Mecca was the source of knowledge. Mecca was the source of knowledge. She focused on teaching him. In which way? He finished memorizing the Quran at age 7. Now, memorizing the Quran with understanding, memorizing the Quran with value of the Quran at age 7. Then she took him. This is all the mother, single mother, minimum amount of money. It was very tight for them. She took him by her hand to the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, to the teachers, to the scholars, and she told him, I want you to learn from this scholar. I want you to learn from this scholar. And I want you to learn how to read well the Quran, and I need you to know the commentary of the Quran. He was 13 years of age. 13. He was absolute scholar of that age in these disciplines, in the Quran, in the reading, and in the tafsir. And he memorized the whole Muwatta, the book of Imam al-Malik at age 13. And then he founded his own fiqh and his own discipline. And his mother, age 15 or 16, she said, now time to travel to Medina. I want you to go to Medina and I want you to learn from Imam Malik, because Imam Malik was the scholar of that time. Now, when I say these stories, what do you need to think? Mothers, parents, children, it's like a dough. You mold them the way they are. And this is how Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam said. He said, كل ابن آدم يولد على الفطرة أو كل مولود يولد على الفطرة. Every newborn will be born على الفطرة, on the natural instinct, which means that every child, when he is or she is born, they will be born, they know there is a creator. فأبواه, then his parents, يمجسانه يهودانه ينصرانه, his parents will make him Muslim, Christian, Jews, others. What does this hadith teaches me? It's the parents' influence in the house. The parents' influence in the house, and here specifically the mother, has a huge impact on the child. And there is many usual sayings in different parts of the world about the influence of parents on children, and let alone the mother. And there's a very famous saying in the Arab world, the meaning of, if you turn the container upside down, the daughter is like the mother. It rhymes. Like you look at the daughter, you say this is her mother, or you look at the mother, you say this is her daughter. The influence of parents on the children is phenomenal. And even in studies we have seen it. If you move a child, let's say the child was born in Japan, so he is by genes is Japanese, but if you bring him to live here in the United States, he will grow up as an American, although the genes are Japanese, meaning the influence of the surroundings, and the first surroundings is the parents. So his mother took him, Imam Ash-Shafi'i, at age 15, 16, took him to Medina to learn, because she said Medina is where more knowledge are there. Basically, Imam Malik was there, and he stayed there for 9 years, and he didn't leave Medina just to come and visit her. Now, she didn't teach him only knowledge, yani go and learn, but she also taught him character. She said, it is said that she used to teach him to be generous and donate. And she said, every time you come to Mecca to visit me, don't enter Mecca before you give up a charity. حتى يتصدق. How much he had? Young man. How much he had? Every time. What do I need to do now if I want to use it these days? I will say to my child, every time we go to the masjid, number one, I'll take my child to the masjid. Because the masjid is the place, when we live in a non-Muslim country, the masjid is the place where the child will see and will feel and will be connected with his religion. Where will you and I learn religion when we are outside? Who will remind me of Allah? Who will remind me of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam? The masjid does, one. And number two, if you want to apply this if you want to like copy the mother of Imam Ash-Shafi, look in the masjid, in the community, where there is a scholar, where there is someone who knows. I will have my child spend time with them, rather than I have my child spend time on, unfortunately, the iPad and all the games and all this. I'm not saying we should not give them time for play. That has to be also part of it, but the focus. And then if I want to be like the mother of Imam Shafi'i, when my child enters the masjid, I teach him, every time you enter the masjid, give a charity. So he grew up charitable, pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also she was, one of the stories about her, that she was absolutely very smart and she was very honest. And when you look at these mothers, it's amazing that even the name, as I said in the beginning, we don't even know the names of these women, but we know the mother of. So I always ask, we should ask ourselves, right? How people will remember me? The mother of, okay, and the mother of what is that child, or she, or he, or that son, or that daughter brought to this life? What footprint we will leave after us when we leave? Other than we enjoy it and alhamdulillah and everything is good, but what did we leave? So the mother of Imam Ash-Shafi'i, look at who is Imam Ash-Shafi'i, and she was a single mother with minimum resources, but her focus was to have her child pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now these, Imam Ash-Shafi'i, Imam Anas ibn Malik, these were not only knowledgeable men, but they were righteous men, Allah-fearing, Allah connected. If they didn't see this in their home, it will not come to them just by the knowledge. Subhanallah.